Today we're kicking off the October Halloween season with our 13th episode. And with the number 13, you know it had to be Friday the 13th. A 1980, I'm not going to say it, but...
Cult classic?
Yeah. I'm going to say it. I told myself.
I mean,
I'm not going to say it.
I don't think you consider this a cult classic, right? Because it's so huge, right? I mean, there's a huge
it's a
franchise.
classic. I mean, I said I wasn't going to say it. You say it. You say it, Steve.
What?
Well, what you just said.
It's not a cult classic.
But it's a
franchise.
Well, it's a classic.
Well, it's a classic.
Come on, man. Just say it.
I mean, what determines a classic movie? I don't know.
One that released like 12. Now, this is a pet peeve of mine.
Or is it a classic because it's old? You know, is it 20 years old
but
makes it a classic?
It's a iconic film in the horror genre that changed the dynamic of horror in the 80s. Like, there were so many copycats. Friday 13th actually ripped off Halloween, and Sean Cunningham, the director and producer of Friday 13th, even said, hey, we're going to take Halloween and we're going to rip it off. And he had this title in mind, Friday the 13th. And he knew he could make a lot of money from it if he could get it off. And, into a script and all that. They didn't even have a script. See, I'm jumping ahead. But Sean Cunningham, he was the producer on The Last House on the Left that was directed by Wes Craven. He was set out to make another horror movie. When he saw the success of Halloween, he knew that the dates, holidays and different things, I mean, obviously had a selling point.
Right.
But he had if I could just get the idea, the title of Friday 13th out there, he knew it'd be something big. At least, a moneymaker. And he was right. And the fact of the matter is, he took Friday the 13th, they put an ad in Variety claiming they were going to make this film, and they didn't even have a script, and sold it. He ended up getting financing and all that stuff. But that's just inside baseball. What I consider this an iconic horror film is because when it came out, okay, so we'll do Halloween, we're going to talk about Halloween later, but virtually Halloween had no gore. Halloween would be like softcore because there was no gore. So Friday 13th would turn that around to be like hardcore. That was hardcore for the time. So they were going to show all the gore, blah, 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 and really up the ante. And then it set off the whole trend of the 80s. There was April Fool's Day, there was Silent Night, Deadly Night, Happy Birthday to Me, Mother's Day, My Bloody Valentine, and I believe a few other ones. Before even Halloween, one of my favorite holiday horror films was Black Christmas. And that was a Christmas movie, but that was Black Christmas, and that was in, 74 maybe or something, by Bob Clark, who actually did A Christmas Story and Porky's. You remember that movie? We got to do that. We will do that movie in December. We have to do it. That one gave me chills. I mean, it really, it's a great holiday horror flick. Friday 13th kind of set off the whole gore genre of slasher flicks of the 1980s. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely the most successful gore movie, for sure.
Yeah, so and the other thing is, Friday 13th is probably the longest of the franchises, but going back to what really gets on my nerves is they stopped at 12. Where the hell is 13? Right? So there's Friday 13th 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. We'll go through each one a little bit, but 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then they get into other ones like the 10th was the Jason X,
which is 10.
And 11 was Freddy versus Jason, and then you had the reboot Friday the 13th was 12. So I mean,
what about Jason? What about Jason Takes Manhattan?
Yeah, that was 8.
Was it?
Yeah, but they rebooted Friday the 13th with the dude from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
but dude, I was for sure they were going to have another one after that. I mean, I thought it was pretty successful. That came out in 2009. But I haven't seen the 13th, Friday the 13th. Now, how are you going to make a franchise this long and wait this long for the 13th, Friday the 13th? I don't care. I just want a 13th one. So anyway, that's I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. So getting back to Friday the 13th Part 1.
Yes.
What do you remember the first time you saw it?
Well, I don't, for sure, but it was in the early 80s. I couldn't tell you exactly, but I mean, it came out in 80, so I probably saw it around 81, 82. I mean, I didn't obviously see it in the theater.
No, I didn't either. I mean,
definitely on VHS, probably at a friend's house or something, because my parents never really watched slasher movies or anything. Yeah. Honestly, but
was it suspenseful to you? Do you remember when you first saw it?
Oh, when I was a kid, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I thought it scared the crap out of me. I thought the Blu-ray looked great.
I mean, really? It definitely looked. It looked good for being 40 years old, for sure. Yeah, they cleaned it wasn't as good as some of the other Blu-rays I've seen, but I don't think when it was new that it was as high a quality as some other movies. You know what I mean? So I think it looks as good as it possibly can.
Yeah, because sure. I mean, it was a lower budget film when it came out. I mean, they didn't have a big budget on this one at all. These guys, I'm guessing that the biggest paid actor on there was Betsy Palmer, because she was the biggest actor they got on there.
And I didn't even know who she was, honestly.
She's I guess a famous actress back in the day, and they were all shocked that she did this film. They thought it would ruin her. They thought, I guess Siskel and Ebert, they really tore it apart. They hated it, because, it's one of those films, and it was just, trashy, and there was sex, and there was all this violence, and the whole idea of her doing this role was shocking to them, and so they really trashed it.
But before this, I mean, she's got the billing as like the star, but really she was like a big, like, 50s actor, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was like considered a wholesome type actress, and real funny, and
Yeah, I had no idea who, when I saw the billing, Betsy Palmer, and I was like, well, I thought it was one of the kids. I had no idea who it was. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a Kevin Bacon in there, but that was way before his popularity.
Yeah, it was like he had just got done filming, I think, Animal House, and then that one was his next one. So Animal House was a big hit, but he wasn't a big star yet.
I was to say, if nothing else, it probably resurrected her career, because it looks like she hadn't really done anything from like 68 to 80 almost.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why she took the role. But man, I mean, that was pretty risky for her, I guess. If you had that reputation, then all of a sudden you're playing some psychotic, killer mom on a show. But yeah, she died in 2015 at 88, but she would appear at a lot of these Comic-Con type events and stuff.
Yeah.
And she ended up loving it. She thought it was, I think she hated it in the beginning when she heard but it was a paid job or something. I don't know for sure, but I know she said she ended up loving the role later on, or
Yeah, a lot of people that you hear that do like these, like these kooky, like let's say cult classic movies, right?
Yeah.
or cult classic shows.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh, I hated being in it," but as time goes on and they get involved in the cons, the Comic Cons and stuff, then they really start to love it, because I think they're just so happy that people come out and appreciated their work when they thought that it was just like a throwaway movie or something they hated.
Most people know what Friday the 13th is, but they always relate Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees. Hey guys, we got a special coupon code for our listeners. The coupon code is RETROMEDIA. RETROMEDIA. And you can get 30% off over at 80stees.com. 80stees.com. Guys, they got t-shirts and hoodies from all kinds of different categories of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. You got 80s movies, 80s cartoons, 80s music, superheroes, 80s TV, fantasy, wrestling, 90s movies, video games, 70s movies and TV shows, 90s TV shows, 90s cartoons, 2000s movies. You got holiday and Christmas, and this is the perfect place to spend your money on great quality apparel. And the best is you get 30% off by using our special coupon code at checkout. Retro Media over at 80stees.com. So obviously we're talking about Friday the 13th 1 mainly. Jason Voorhees, he doesn't show up till the end of the film.
Well, he doesn't really show up at all, technically, right?
No, he shows up, but he shows up at the end of the film as a little boy coming out of the water.
Right, but isn't that like a dream?
No, they made it seem like it could be a dream, or maybe it wasn't, because you saw the little bubbles like on the lake. Like, was there a little boy there? We didn't see any boy. We didn't find any boy, but something pulled her in the water, or the cops on the beach there didn't see anything, obviously, but maybe they thought she just fell backwards. So it kind of leaves it open-ending. Was it a dream? Was it not a dream? And in the end, you find out, obviously there's part 2, so it wasn't a dream. He's still there. And then her last words in the movie were, well, then he's still there, So that kind of leaves it. And I think that was brilliant, because they probably didn't know if there was going to be a sequel, but it kind of left it to where, hey, man, if this movie does good, hey, we might be onto something here.
But yeah, I hadn't remembered. I didn't remember those. I haven't seen this in so long. But, when you're thinking about Friday the 13th, and when you don't see, him with the hockey mask on, you feel a little ripped off.
Yeah, because that's what everybody imagines Friday the 13th. They always think of the hockey mask. And me and the hockey mask doesn't come until part 3. The potato sack is in the second one.
Yes.
With the one-eyed potato sack, which kind of reminds me of that movie, Sundown. Oh, wait, what was it called? It's a really good movie.
The town.
Yes.
About the town. It's
the dreaded
whatever.
Sundown. Yes. Which is a great movie. And it was loosely based on a true story, I believe.
I like the sack, but not the sack, but the burlap sack better than the hockey mask.
Well, I thought the burlap sack was freaky,
Yeah.
And I think
And
I think Friday the 13th and part 2 are probably the scariest of them, to be honest, because I think even though I love all the Friday the 13th, they do become very comical. They're almost like horror comedies in a way.
Yeah.
But I think the first 2 are the most serious. third one, though, I love because he does get his hockey mask. And it was filmed in 3D. I didn't get to see it in 3D at the time. I was too young, but I had a friend. Well, he was a classmate. And somehow he got to see it in 3D. And he knew what a fan I was. And he gave me his 3D glasses. But then I later got to see it in 3D.
I've never seen it in 3D either, but when you watch it, they use those like really stupid effects where, he's thrusting the knife towards the camera.
Oh, it's real gimmicky, yes. Mm-hmm. Real gimmicky. So it came out May 9th, 1980. It had a budget of $550,000, and it grossed $39,754,000, I think U.S., but then it grossed worldwide $59.8 million. So it really made a lot of money.
And how much money has it made since 1980?
Jeez.
I mean, it's probably at least $500 million. It had to have.
Oh yeah. I mean, I bought probably 3 versions of the DVD, then the Blu-ray. Oh gosh. Cuz there was a DVD that came out, the original. Then I had to buy, I don't know what it was. It was some other one maybe. Then I had to buy the deluxe version. And then the Blu-ray. Back in the day, dude, I would never have guessed that I would walk into a Target and see Friday the 13th action figures sitting on the main aisle displayed. I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
And now I see Friday 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, action figures displayed. That was something like that would never have flew back then, It would have been like not in a main toy store. Like,
right.
These are the main aisles. I'm thinking, gosh, man, if I was a kid and I saw that back in the day, I would have been like, yeah, I know what I want for Christmas. I want.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, number one, the world is different today, and the toy buyers are different today.
Older, yeah, they're our age, probably.
Yeah, the only people that are buying toys are adults.
Yeah.
And the adults that are buying them for kids, basically, once a kid hits 4 years old, they don't buy toys anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like all the action figures, all the movie-related memorabilia for any big movie, it's all bought by adult collectors in comic book shops and stuff like that.
True. Something like that movie could hold up to this day, and they're still making action figures for it?
Well, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the same thing. You go into any store in the month of October that sells Halloween stuff, you're going to see a Jason mask for sale for Halloween.
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, the T-shirts, I couldn't find back in the day when the movies came out, I mean, you couldn't even find a T-shirt, half the time of something like that. And now they're all over the place. I mean, I probably got 4 different Friday the 13th shirts, Same with Halloween. I got all kinds of T-shirts now, horror T-shirts. You couldn't find them back in the day. You'd be lucky if you could. Well, I did get a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 T-shirt when that came out with Dream Warriors. I got that. From some friends from my birthday party. But I mean, those were hard to find shirts. They just weren't mass producing that stuff. The other thing was Sean Cunningham get a soundtrack because he knew how effective Halloween was with the soundtrack. He needed somebody to come up with the soundtrack that would scare the shit out of you. Then comes Harry Manfredini. If they didn't have that score, I don't think Friday the 13th would be as effective without that score. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't even notice. It's not memorable to me. The only thing that's memorable to me is that.
Yeah. But
that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it was actually kill, kill, ma for mommy, and kill what he was saying, because that's what he did in this Echoplex machine back in the. It was a delay machine that he would say kill, 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 ma, and then it came out to be like a chi chi cha cha cha, echo.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's what he was doing. He was saying kill, 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 ma, like kill mommy, blah blah blah, and that's what came about that whole freaky ass score. But he had a lot of orchestrated stuff going.
I mean, I probably realized there was music playing or something, but it doesn't stand out like John Carpenter's Halloween.
There's orchestrations.
Yeah.
But that whole, kill, 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 mama. I mean, that was unique, and that's what made it.
Well, yeah, that's definitely creepy for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think Friday the 13th would be half as good without that soundtrack. But in that whole effect that he did.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, most of those movies back then, and even still today, it's all about audio cues. Like if you took a horror movie and just took all the sound away, they wouldn't be nearly, as creepy or scary. So when you add like a creepy element to it, it definitely affects it.
Hey, did you know that the guy that played Bill in there, the character Bill, he's one of the kids. Did you know, I think he was the one that chopped up the snake. You know when they chopped up that snake in the...
Yeah.
They used a real snake.
It looked like it.
Yeah, I know. And
they probably got in trouble for it.
The girl that got the axe in her head, shoot, I forget her name now, in the movie, but she was like on the documentary, go, I am so sorry for... she was like apologizing for the film because they actually used a real snake and killed it. And they did that back then, though, in quite a few movies.
Nobody gives a crap about a snake. Who cares?
I know. I hate
snakes. If it was like a scene where they chop a puppy's head off and they use a real puppy, that would be something. But it's a snake.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody hates snakes except for the few weirdos that keep them in cages in their house.
Yeah, I know. I hate snakes. But yeah, that was kind of funny when I learned that. But I was thinking that too. I was like, man, that sure does look like a real snake.
Yeah, when they chopped it and how it reacted,
I
was like, that's a real snake.
Yeah,
for sure. I could tell.
Well, that character Bill, his name was Harry Crosby, and he was the son of Bing Crosby. Did you know that?
I had no idea. Let me zoom in on his face here.
Yeah, Bing Crosby's son is in this movie.
There's not a whole lot of resemblance.
And what's crazy is Bing Crosby had died shortly before the filming of that. And so he was telling a lot of stories about his dad and all that stuff. And I don't know when he died. I guess I could look that up. They were filming in 1979. So I was kind of curious when Bing Crosby died personally.
1977.
Okay, so 1977. Yeah, so I don't know. Bing Crosby never got to see his son in Friday the 13th.
I mean, that's something that, whether it's an Academy Award-winning movie, if that's like your first movie and your father was a big star, I mean, that would be something you'd want your father to be proud of you for at least being in show business, I suppose,
Yeah. I don't know what he did after that. I never looked it up, but...
not a whole lot.
Okay, so that might have killed his career. No, I don't know. But... I'd be proud of being in Friday the 13th if I was in it. Of course, I would.
There was a lot of there was not specifically about the actors, but there was a lot of just like goofy characters, like the head guy in charge at the camp. He was like the ultimate pervert.
Yeah, the Christie guy.
Yeah, he was like all touchy-feely and just like creeping.
Yeah, I know.
Really creepy.
Yeah, I know.
And another person that was weird was that police officer. Remember him? How weird he was?
Yeah. Yeah. Brenda, the Laurie Bartram, Bartram, I don't know, Bartram, I guess her name.
Yeah.
She played Brenda in there in the movie, and she died in 2007, May 25th of cancer. So that's sad.
She was the one that was they were the one they were was she was the one they were waiting on, right, to arrive. Was that her?
No, you mean the hitchhiker? No,
yeah.
She's the one that they were playing like strip poker, and she was one of those. I don't know what strip Monopoly, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I
gotcha.
But and she never got naked or anything. But
there really wasn't any nudity in this movie, was there?
Oh yeah, there was one scene.
Was there what?
Well, it was the one with Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah. But it wasn't a whole lot like gratuitous. Yeah, but there was.
No, it wasn't. No, it was just one boob scene that I could think of. Just that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And what's weird is I thought there was more than that. When I rewatched it, I was like, man, I thought there was more nudity in this. But no, there wasn't. It got more gratuitous later on. You know, you have premarital sex, you're going to get killed theme, you know. So
right.
It was always the ones that were fooling around and always got killed.
Wasn't that what that was supposed to be the reason Jason's mother was killing people, because there was counselors having sex, which they weren't paying attention, and he drowned.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah,
because in the beginning, they showed the two counselors that were fooling around, and then she kills them. But how long was it before he drowned that she started killing people? Was it a year? I don't know. Now I'm trying to figure out the time.
They said, but I think they tried to reopen it. It was like 2 years later, right? I think somebody had said that.
No, it was the killing happened in 58. Okay, 1957. Pamela receives a job as a cook at Camp Crystal Lake. Friday, September 13th. While there, 11-year-old Jason accidentally drowns in the lake. Okay, so 1958, a year later, is Friday, June 13th. Pamela, driven mad over the grief of her son's death, kills two counselors at Camp Crystal Lake. The killer is never apprehended, and the camp is soon shut down. In 1979, this must be...
So 20 years later.
20 years later, that must be the present day. So 79 is supposedly the present day, and that's when it goes on from there. The Friday 13th ending was probably the most effective ending for me as far as making me jump. I don't care how many times I've seen the damn thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It always gets me every damn time. And I think it's because Harry Manfredini has that just calming music for like a long time. I mean, it just seems like it carries on and on. And everything's like just so sweet, and it's all over. And then when he gets you right when Jason jumps out of that damn water,
yes,
and he slams you with that music, that ting, ting, you know, that changing it from the sweet little lullaby, everything's okay music to that harsh, nice, you know, horror score. Just boom, makes me jump.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that I remember about the movie as a kid.
Yeah,
was that, you know, you think the movie, all the scary stuff's over, right? And then when he pops up out of the water like that.
Wasn't that what everybody was talking about? Because that's what I remember. I just remember, did you see it in the end when Jason comes out of the water? It just made everybody like just shocked, you know. And I heard like at the theater, people were like, just everybody was jumping out of their seats, and some were running out of the theater. That's crazy, man. But you know, people got scared more scared of things back then. Now they're so desensitized, it takes a lot to scare anybody.
Right.
I mean, they filmed that in New Jersey at an actual working camp, but it was closed at the time. I think the season, but they were filming in the fall, and I guess that was really cold water. That
in Jersey in the fall.
Yeah.
It was a Boy Scout camp.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
and supposedly, it's still in operation, and somewhere on the camp, I don't know where, there's like a little memorial thing.
No kidding.
For the movie on there.
Gosh, man, with as many crazy people are out there, I'm surprised nobody's like tried to be a real Jason. Tried to commit some kind of crime there. Did you hear what happened to that the actress that cut off Pamela Voorhees, aka Betsy Palmer's head? If you haven't seen it, sorry, but that's what happens. Alice, what's her Adrienne King, or no, Adrienne. Is that her name? Yeah, Adrienne King. That's right. Did you hear what happened after the filming?
No.
She actually had a stalker after the filming of that, and all this shit happened and whatever, and she ended up having a gun on her pulled to her head from the stalker, and she ended up talking him down, and everything's fine now. But she goes to Comic-Cons all the time now and everything, and she's met the, she just loves her fans and everything. So
a couple of years ago, they were advertising where you could go to that camp.
Really?
For like a tour / Halloween type. That would be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet. Hey guys, this is Steve here, and I want you to try the best superfood on the market. Field of Greens, real organic superfood. Just use my special coupon code HEALTHYLIFE for ultimate savings. The benefits of Field of Greens contain antioxidants, boosts immunity, completely organic, supports healthy metabolism, and a natural source of vitamins and minerals. Try Field of Greens today with my special coupon code HEALTHYLIFE at checkout. Healthy Life. That Laurie Bartram, she was only 49 when she died. And then that other guy, Crazy Ralph, he died in 2004. The guy in the beginning says, warning, don't go to the Crystal Lake, whatever, his bike. He was 91 when he died. 2004.
We were talking about Betsy Palmer, and we were talking about how she was known for doing other types of film. I just saw this thing, and it says that she was in desperate need of a new car. That's why she took the role.
Oh, no way, dude.
And she read the script. She called the movie a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what.
But it said she did warm up to the film, as it made her more famous than infamous, and she actually embraced the film afterwards. But because like I said, she had like a 9 or 10 year period where she didn't do anything.
I guess it's better than porn.
Well, check this out. Because the camp was closed during filming and situated in the deep New Jersey woods, the cast and crew didn't see much outside interference, but it turned out they had a very... hold on. The damn computer is locked up. It turns out that they had a very famous neighbor. It said rock star Lou Reed owned a farm nearby.
No way.
And they said they got to watch Lou Reed play for free right in front of us while we were making the film.
Oh my God!
He came by the set and hung out with everybody, and he was just a really really super cool guy.
That's funny.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah, so Friday 13th kicked off a slew of sequels. So I guess we should talk about some of the sequels. I know you said you didn't see them all, but we'll briefly kind of talk about, okay, so Friday the 13th Part 2 occurs like 5 years after the events of the first film. And a summer camp next to the infamous Camp Crystal Lake is preparing to open, but the legend of Jason is weighing heavy on the proceedings. That's what it says in Part 2. But anyway, we'll just go from Part 2. Jason is alive and well and wears a potato sack with one eye and does the killing. And that came out in a year later, 1981. I don't remember how he got the potato sack for some reason.
He finished the potatoes and
I don't.
But he put it on his head.
But I thought it was cool that he kept the mom's head in that little shed or whatever,
little shack with a sweater and stuff. Yeah.
But that was a freaky movie, I thought.
Yeah. For sure. For sure, it was very freaky. You know, it's pretty crazy though. I was noticing that, you know, Friday the 13th, Part 2 and Part 3, they churned a movie out every year for those first movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. 80, but I guess 81, 82. They're busy.
There's really no story. I mean, you can pretty much churn a movie out, right? I mean, you just have some guy going around just, murdering people.
Yeah. But yeah, Friday the 13th 2 was I thought really effectively suspenseful and scary. It was directed by Steve Miner, which I think Steve Miner, was he a producer on the first one? He wasn't the director. That was Sean Cunningham, but I think he was like producer or something. But he directed the second one, and Betsy Palmer returns with like dream sequences and stuff, and Amy Steele's like the lead cast in that one, or the lead female hero, whatever. And then Steve Miner also directed the third one. And the third one, like we said prior, was filmed in 3D, and that's where he gets his mask. So, I mean, really the first three movies are like probably the best ones out of the series. Except for... oh, shoot. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, the first three... And I gotta say, you've seen Freddy vs. Jason, haven't you?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, that's probably my next favorite, just because it's so action packed. There's so much like great '80s throwback stuff in there, and I really loved how they did that movie. But anyway, yeah, that was a great movie. When we move to Part 4, we're introduced to Tommy Jarvis. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I think they were trying to end it. I'm not sure, but we all thought it was going to end, and it was in 1984. Right. But I think they said, screw this, man. We're making too much damn money. Let's make another one. And so they tried to kick off because it was... what's his face, man? Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman, like, stabs him 100 times or whatever, or something like that. And,
right, and then he falls on that wheat thresher right at the end, right?
Yeah, so you think, okay, he's never going to survive that. But I just remember when Friday the 13th, The New Beginning came out, and I found out it was a not even Jason. I was like, I wouldn't even give it a chance. And that was the biggest letdown, I think, in the series. But it's not a bad film if you can get past that it's not Jason. But
what did you think though when it was called A New Beginning?
I know the title makes sense, truly, but I think I wanted a new beginning with a with the same Jason, I guess. And then it started, okay, we got to figure out how to bring him back. And that's when Jason Lives occurs. Wasn't it like lightning or something that brings him back? And
I haven't seen
Strike. Yeah, you have seen that one. That's right. But it brings him back from the dead. That was in 1986. I did like Jason Lives. And then when the next one came out, The New Blood, I wouldn't give that one a chance because I found out this chick had like psychic powers and shit, and it was like, oh man, this is getting so damn hokey. And that came out in '88. I didn't see it for probably VHS sometime. I finally gave it a shot. And you know, one thing is, some of these movies I hated when they came out. I just literally freaking hated them. Like Jason Takes Manhattan came out after that. I literally hated those movies. I said, this is freaking ridiculous. Why are they screwing up Friday the 13th? And then later on, I started finding value in them. They started becoming funny. They were like funnier than most comedies. And then I was like, man, you know what? These damn Friday the 13th are freaking hilarious, you know? The later they get, and there's a lot of comic value in Jason Takes Manhattan that I like. And then Jason Goes to Hell comes out, and that was like, it started like, it was like a supernatural thing where Jason's like demonic spirit was like possessing all these people, you know, and so it's Jason like bouncing into different bodies and stuff. That was kind of whacked out. And then they started like, oh, what are we going to do with Jason next? He's been to hell. He's been to all these different places. So let's send him out into space. So then he's been like, cryogenically, whatever you call that, frozen. And then they go in space, and then he comes alive, you know, and of course his mask was all futuristic and stuff. But there were some funny parts in Jason X, I gotta admit. It was, as far as the whole like plot, when I heard it, it was like, oh man, this is gonna be stupid. There was actually some redeeming qualities in it. Now we're at 11, and it was Freddy versus Jason. Now, you didn't see Jason Goes to Hell, so you wouldn't know. But the ending to Jason Goes to Hell has Jason's mask lying there on a grave, or whatever. And then you see Freddy's glove come out of, or Freddy's hand with the glove come out of the ground and pull his mask in. And that was just an awesome ending. So everybody was like, oh my gosh, they're going to make a Freddy versus Jason at one point. And, you know, Jason X came out, and then we finally got Freddy versus Jason, what everybody was waiting for. This was 10 years, dude. This was 1993. Jason Goes to Hell comes out. We had to wait 10 years for Freddy versus Jason to actually occur. And what I loved about it is they used Robert Englund in it. And they had a Ronnie Yu as director. Like some... I don't know what he's done, but the choreography and everything with the battle and the fight, it was just awesome. I mean, it goes on forever, right? It's a great fight scene. But I suggest you watch it, man. It's a really good movie.
So I haven't seen it, and I maybe watch it someday. So who wins? Jason versus...
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Freddy.
Because it could be a...
Because in theory, there's no way Jason could kill Freddy. There's just no way.
Right. You got to see it, man. The way they do it is very... Very effective. Because you know you're going to get hate from each camp. You know, you got people that want Freddie to win, you got people that want Jason to win, and then you got people that you want a tie. So it's interesting. You got to check it out.
Well, my guess is, and I haven't seen the movie, is I guess that nobody dies. That's my guess. Or they both, whatever. Because they're not gonna give somebody the upper hand, right? It's just like, the King Kong Godzilla movie. Who's going to be the winner or the loser, right? They're not going to do that.
It's good. That's all I'll say. It's good.
But I was reading, somebody was talking about that movie, and they said that, which is kind of cool, officially that the Friday the 13th series, minus the brand new one with the guy from Supernatural, but the Friday the 13th series is in this is in and has always been in the same universe as Nightmare on Elm Street. So it wasn't like they just slapped it together. They said it. They've always been in the same. They somehow they established that is like canon. They are in the same universe. So that's kind of cool.
What do you mean? I guess I'm lost.
Well, it's a lot of times, like they're not, they'll have like these movie franchises, right?
Yeah.
You'll have a Spider-Man franchise, right?
Right.
And you have a Superman franchise. Those are not the same universe.
Right.
Right? They're not the same Earth or whatever. They will never cross paths, right?
Oh, so they
Two different universes.
They allow, and they're in the same timeline and everything?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It's 14 years since the last Friday the 13th movie? Am I doing that correct? Math-wise? 2009.
2009, 13 years?
13 years? Oh my gosh, exactly 13 years? Wow, that's even weirder. Okay, so I rest my case, man. That's odd to me. Because if I was a studio or something, I would have been like, dude, we need a Friday the 13th pronto, okay?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I think they've run their course, right? I think you're never.
Yeah, but I don't care if you lose money. You got to have 13 of them. It's just
that's not how movie studios think.
Yeah, I know. But come on. I mean, where the hell's Sean Cunningham? Wouldn't he want to do the 13th Friday 13th movie?
Well, where the hell is Sean Connery at? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That dude's probably dead, Sean Cunningham.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Is he alive or dead? Come on, Sean. Where are you?
Well, I know Sean Connery's dead, so he can't direct one.
Yeah. Okay, Sean Cunningham is alive. Oh, my God. He's 80, though. Okay.
Well, he's actually 59, 69, 79. He's 81, yeah.
81? Damn. That's so weird.
He was involved with Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, he was? Did he produce it?
Yeah, he was producer.
Oh, okay.
And he was also the producer for the reboot.
Oh, he was? Wow. Okay.
And he was one of the producers for Friday the 13th, the game.
No shit. Huh. Wow.
And he was also producer for one of my favorite cheesy horror movies, is House.
Oh, I love House. Dude, did I tell you? I met the director of House?
No, who's the director?
Oh, wait.
For that?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Darn it.
Was that Wink Martin?
Not the director. But he was the writer. He was the director was actually Steve Miner, who did the part 2 and 3, but
Fred Decker?
Fred Decker, yes, who did Monster Squad. He directed Monster Squad. You remember that movie?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes. He was the director of that. He did the last Predator film, which I haven't seen, but no, he wrote it. He wrote the script, I think, for the Predator film, but I think they screwed it up or something. Something like that. But Fred Decker. Oh, another cult classic. I did say it. I did say it. Not only is Monster Squad a cult classic, but Night of the Creeps. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, that's an awesome film. Anyway, he also did RoboCop 3. And he wrote a bunch of stuff, like I think he told me like Star Trek episodes or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, he did some Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah. But anyway, he was at a cookout because he married this girl that's from here. They were talking about it one time, and they were saying, oh, yeah, supposedly he did some movie called The Monster Squad. And I was like, what? They never even heard of it. They never heard of the movie or nothing. You know, they were just talking about, you know, her friend, my girlfriend's aunt, her friend married this guy, and from LA, he was a director that did some movie called Monster Squad, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what? You know, he's the guy that did Night of the Creeps. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Well, anyway, one time they were like, hey, Steve, Fred Decker's coming in town, and they're going to go to their cookout they're having. And I was so nervous. I brought my DVDs over too. And what
a nerd.
Yeah, I was total nerd, man. Total nerd. So anyway, I introduced myself. I talked to him, and he was like, you know, he seemed super cool. Like I knew all the stuff he did and everything, and we were talking. He was talking about John Carpenter because I said I was a big John Carpenter fan too. Blah blah blah. Oh man, it was cool, man. I talked to him like a lot of the night. They got pictures and with him, and then my DVD signed. Well, there's this guy off to the side that was friends with them. He was wondering why I was getting pictures and stuff, and he come over. He saw that I was holding a Monster Squad DVD. What's that? And he was like, "That's Monster Squad." I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" It's like, well, that's the director, and he about shitbricks. He ran home and got his Monster Squad. That's me and my kids. One of our favorite movies. He couldn't believe it that he was at this party the whole time and didn't really realize that Fred Decker, the director, was here. I mean, dude, this guy, you know, nobody knew him, but pretty much us two, and this guy's known all over the place, you know. But it was funny. Yeah. Man. He was a cool guy, though. He was a cool guy. That's my Fred Decker story, man.
Yeah, good old Fred Decker.
So, but no, dude, I love House, and we talked about House because he said, you know, he was a writer on House. I love House. He's like, you do? And he's like, yeah. He wrote House 1 and 2, and Sean Cunningham, he produced both those, I believe, right? I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But it had that dude from Cheers in there, and
yes,
yeah, Norm. He is awesome.
George Wendt, I believe is his name.
Yeah, but I think I was pumped. Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying I was pumped to see the movie because William Catt was in it, and he was the greatest American hero.
Yeah, he's awesome in it, man. He wasn't in 2 though, but they were funny movies. They were funny movies. I think they did 4 of them, 3 or 4, I think. But I think the first 2 are the only good ones. First one is the best, I think, but because of William Catt.
Yeah, they had all the House movies on one disc or 2 discs or something. Yeah, I think though, like you said, I think really after one, they were all downhill, I think.
Yeah. I heard, now I didn't talk to him about it, but he said to somebody that they really screwed up the movie that he wrote. So, and I started watching it one time, but I don't know. Did you see it?
There's been so many, like, whatever with Predator.
Yeah, I know. It was the Predator. It was the Predator, I think.
I'm not sure if I saw it or not.
He said they screwed up his whole script. What I heard. So he wrote the script and then they screwed it all up, and he was real embarrassed by that.
Likely story. Fred just probably lost his touch. He can't write anymore.
I mean, that's all hearsay.
How old is this guy?
Fred?
So he's pretty old though too. Then
he's probably around 60. Let me see.
He's got to be older than that, huh?
He didn't look that old to me.
If he wrote House in 1984, he's got to be at least.
Oh, he's 63. He's 63. Okay.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
So he was pretty young then when he started doing all that work.
He co-wrote the neo-noir Ricochet. You remember that movie? Ricochet? That had Denzel Washington, John Lithgow, Ice-T. It was like
a
91.
cop movie, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a cop? Yeah.
I did not know he wrote that. That was a pretty good film.
I don't remember too much about it. I've seen it.
Yeah, getting back to Friday the 13th.
Right.
Oh, man.
You're always digressing.
Oh, man. We love to digress. Hey, guys, do you want the ultimate iodine supplement? How about liquid B12? How about liquid turmeric in a herbal cold-pressed tincture, never heated? The ultimate in detoxification. Pure, powerful, and potent liquid formulas in a raw herbal extract. Totally organic. Use our special coupon code HEALTHYLIFE at checkout at globalhealingorganics.com. Use coupon code HEALTHYLIFE. I love the film, but you know what? This is one film I can't remember exactly where I saw it. I don't know if it was HBO. I don't know if it was VHS. But I remember the first time I saw it, but I don't remember where, but I remember it scared the crap out of me. I mean, it did make me jump. It's a great film. It's not what a lot of people think of when they think of Friday the 13th. Because they expect Jason as the killer, but it is the picture that changed slasher films throughout the 80s. Sean Cunningham admits to wanting to rip off Halloween. He actually did more than rip it off. He created his own iconic killer of the 80s. And I don't think we'll ever see like a time in history where you'll have three big movie monsters like that. You know what I mean? Where you have Freddy, a Jason, a Michael, and then I guess you could throw in Chucky. He's somewhere in there, but I mean, those were the big franchises of that era, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
As far as slashers, those are the big ones. This kicks off our October horror film series. Steve, you got anything else you want to add?
No, not really that I can think of.
Okay, before we go, I got to thank Tom Savini, the makeup artist, for his incredible, ahead of its time makeup work on Friday the 13th. He just did a tremendous job. And I also want to thank him for his service because he, like Steve Lago, is a veteran. And he was in Vietnam, and he's just a hell of a great guy. Tom was a combat photographer in Vietnam, the brutal things he saw in Vietnam has certainly been translated into his work, and he's just a master at it. So, Tom, we want to thank you for your service and all the work you've done in the horror genre. So thank you, Tom. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Please subscribe to us. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts if you could. Check us out on Anchor FM. Subscribe wherever you can. Please go to retromediatalk.com. Check out the links there. We also got some other things that you could buy to help support the podcast, affiliate links, and stuff like that. Any support would be appreciative. We thank you for listening. This wraps up our 13th episode. So, real excited. We made it past 10, and we're on 13. And
13 episodes and 3 listeners.
3 listeners. Hey, thanks for all 3 listeners. Hey, if you want to shout out next podcast, put something in the comments on the Facebook page. Check us out on Facebook, /whatever, Retro Media Talk. I think that's it. Just do a search, Retro Media Talk on Facebook. And, if you checked it out, say something. We'll give you a call out. And, I don't have no call-outs this week.
Yeah, they're just shy. They're shy listeners.
Yeah. Either nobody's listening or nobody wants their name called out. So
right. Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be affiliated with the show either. I'm going to start using an alias.
Yeah. You got to build your brand, bro. I want to hear this $6 Million Man podcast you got coming out. Come on now.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, because a lot of us, we love $6 Million Man.
That's right.
Thanks for listening, guys. Please find us on all the platforms available: Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Player FM, Red Circle, Anchor FM, and much, much more. Don't say it, dude. I know you gotta say it.
I will not say Tinder this week. I will not say it.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Pornhub.
Yeah.
Angie's List.
Yeah, Angie's. Give us a rating on Angie's List. Really helps us out. So Craze TV, we're on there. Got a playlist on there with a K. Craze TV with a K. Amazon Music, you can say, Alexa, play Retro Media Talk podcast. She'll play it, whatever. If you got one of those spying robots in your house, just go ahead and tell her to play the podcast on there. And every little bit helps, guys. We really appreciate it. We love talking about movies. If you want to be a guest on here, you can also give us a shout out on Facebook or email me at retromediatalk@gmail.com is our email.
And I think if we're going to entertain that thought of having people be guests on the show, then we probably need to lay out a groundwork of what the next few shows will be. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Nobody wants to be a guest on a random movie. Like, I don't know, I've never seen it.
Well, what I would do is email me what movies you would like to be on, or whatever, and
if you have any favorite movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you could list them, and if we think we want to talk about it, we would have you as a guest.
Yeah. And if
your choices of movies suck, we're not going to contact you.
Right. and if we, if we don't have a guest already on that movie, of course, but I would email you back and tell you, hey, we already got a guest for this movie, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we would definitely consider for another movie or whatever. So give us give me a list, whatever.
So if you want to be a guest when we're reviewing On Golden Pond, let us know.
Oh my God.
We'll talk about it. 9 to 5.
Yeah. Oh man. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Media Talk podcast.
Hey guys, do you like Star Wars, Funko, Marvel Legends, McFarlane toys, Legos? Then I got a special coupon code to save 10% over at Entertainment Earth. Use my special coupon code CRAZETV with a K, KRAZETV, to get 10% off at entertainmentearth.com. entertainmentearth.com with coupon code CRAZETV with a K to save 10%.